Coming up, I'm going to be talking about some brand new Marvel films coming soon, plus also the new Lando series is dead, and plus an update on Boomerang. But before we go any further, make sure you do hit that subscribe button to keep up with the latest Disney Plus news. Hi everyone, it's Roger here from What's On at DisneyPlus.com. It's time for a quick Disney Plus news roundup. So let's start off with talking about Lando. So this was a Disney Plus series which was initially announced back at the Investors Day in 2020. It was going to see Donald Glover returning as Lando, who we saw in Solo, a Star Wars movie. And this series was kind of been in development hell for a long time. Years later, it still hasn't moved forward. There's been lots of discussions about the fact of, is it being made? Is it not being made? Then we heard that the creator of the show, Justin Simmons, was no longer on the project, and Donald Glover was then going to be taking over and turning it into a movie. He's talked on a number of different interviews over the years, kind of saying how he wants to do something, but, you know, it has to be right and all the rest of it. It's all been very, like, all over the place. But recently, during a recent interview about the new MGM Plus documentary Hollywood Black, Justin Simmons was asked by the Collider about the Lando series, where he confirmed that the project had been shelved and that it had been pretty well developed. And there was also a Bible, there was some concept art, there was some scripts, but it just wasn't meant to be. And he also shared how he felt about the project not going ahead. He went on to say, "For me, the answer is that you already have to face it. It's true grief. I've never had a child, I've never lost a child, but it's what I imagine that pain might be like. You pour so much of your heart and soul into something, but ultimately you don't have control whether it lives or dies, and it's truly a grieving process." I think comparing it to a death of a child, I don't think it's probably in the same zone, but there's definitely, I think, the idea that he obviously put a lot of time and effort into this, and it just didn't come to anything, and obviously that's going to be disappointing for him. Now, there's been kind of conflict of whether or not this actually means that the movie's not going ahead, but with Lucasfilm coming back on how much stuff it's making and trying to move itself forward, you kind of got to wonder at what point does a project kind of just get dropped completely. And yeah, but this one sounds like it is completely about. He said the project has been shelved. Whether or not he was just referring to the series and it moving to a movie, I don't know. I think the trouble is as well, is Star Wars as a whole just doesn't seem to know where it's been going. It's just been floundering around, doing lots of different projects in all the different time slots, you know, as if, you know, oh, we could put something in here, or we could put something in here, we could put something in there. There's been no, like, long-term plan of where the story is going after Rise of Skywalker. Everything is just, like I said, it's, well, we can slot a series in here, or we could slot something in here. Oh, there was an interesting conversation that happened in a movie. Let's turn that into an entire 6-hour series. And it's just not been working. Audiences haven't been responding to it. We've seen just a general decline in viewership. I mean, The Acolyte is just not even getting on the Nielsen charts because no one is checking it out. That's having an implication on other things within Star Wars, tabletop games, comic books, video games. I mean, the new Outlaws game looks like that might be doing pretty well when that one comes out. But generally, Star Wars is in a bit of a rut, and I don't think a Lando movie or series would have done it. But let me know, would you have liked to have seen a Lando series or movie? Love to hear your thoughts on this in the comments below. Shifting gears now, let's now talk about D23, which is taking place this week in Anaheim, California. So there'll be hopefully a lot of information, hope so, because it's been really dead the last week. If you are going to be attending the event and you are a Disney Plus subscriber, keep a lookout for special logos that say offer spot. There's going to be different promotions and stuff available if you go to the Disney Plus booth. You get a special gift. A lot of the retailers are giving like 5-10% off. You just need to download the D23 app, and when you show it, you can get it. Also, if you're a D23 Gold member, you'll get a similar offer. Sometimes you actually get a slightly better offer if you're a D23 member. Some of the offers and stuff, you know, it depends really on how much you're going to be spending there. But generally, just keep an eye out if you're at the event. But yeah, always a nice thing as well to get a free bonus. But let me know if you're going to be attending the D23 event. I'll hear your thoughts on this in the comments below. Disney has announced its schedule for the upcoming few years ahead for cinema. And as part of it, they have announced a load of untitled films. Now, I'm not going to run through all of them because untitled Disney film, untitled Marvel film, untitled Pixar film, not really going to be that interesting. They just set out all their spots. Looks like we're going to be getting 2 more Marvel movies in 2027 along with Secret Wars. There's also going to be an untitled Marvel movie in 2026. Blade is still on the schedule for next year, but I still think that's going to get moved around a little bit. But also, they did delay the release of the upcoming A Real Pain, which was going to be coming out in October. It's been pushed back a couple of weeks. Not a big deal. It's just going to be a limited release anyway, but a couple of weeks here and there. I mean, that's not a huge thing. But just to be aware, you know, they have set out their plan. We're going to be seeing lots of Disney and Marvel movies and Pixar movies and stuff coming over the few years. And they just a lot of this stuff is just setting out, like, we're going to block that weekend for us, so then like Universal and Warner Brothers and stuff, they can all then, they're all making their plans and they're all trying to state their claim going, we're going to put a movie out here. We're not going to tell you what it is. We might find out obviously at D23. But yeah, so they have laid it all out. You'll find the full details in the link below. But let us know, are you excited about some more movies? Are you excited for Untitled Marvel movie number 30 or whatever it is? Yeah, it's a little bit hard to be excited about Untitled movies, but hopefully we get an idea of what they are pretty soon. But let me know what you think they might be in the comments below. Shifting gears entirely, and we're going to do a little bit of a story here about Max. So obviously now you can get it as part of a bundle with Disney Plus and Hulu. But also Warner Brothers are looking to consolidate some of their streaming services. They're going to be closing down Boomerang at the end of September. If you're a subscriber, if you're on a certain tier, you might get moved over to a Max tier, or you might be given a full refund. You just need to check your email that you get from them. This app includes a load of shows and classic cartoons with like Looney Tunes, Tom and Jerry, Scooby-Doo, that kind of thing. They're going to be moving most of it over to Max. They've just said most, they haven't kind of confirmed that everything is. Not a huge surprise to see them doing this. Consolidation of apps makes a lot of sense, and just to focus everybody on one core platform. Hopefully as well, this is something that we're going to see across other platforms as well. You know, maybe Disney can get rid of Disney Now, that kind of thing, and just really just focus in on making one streaming service really, really good with all your stuff in there and all the new stuff, and you can focus all your advertising on that instead of splitting your audience across all these different platforms. And I think we're going to see more of these little streaming services wrap up, especially anyone run by big companies, as they look just to consolidate and just cut costs. But let us know what you think of the closure of Boomerang in the comments below. And our question of the day, which comes from our YouTube channel member Babak, who says, do you think people are going to pay for venue sports? I can see hardcore sports fan who watch multiple sports teams, but if someone is just into basketball, I imagine it might not be worth it. So obviously with the launch of Venue Sports later this year, this is a new streaming service which is going to combine the live sports from Fox, Warner Brothers Discovery and Disney's ESPN. It's going to be about $42 a month. It's going to be going up in price obviously after that there. It's going to have live channels, and it's also going to have all the content from ESPN Plus. It's also going to be bundled together with Disney Plus and Hulu and Max. And there is a kind of a weird thing I have said about the fact of like how many people are going to subscribe to this. They're looking at maybe 5 million people. And I know some sports fans have like told me, this is great, this is exactly what we've been after, this is what we want, this is a great thing. And I do think there is going to be a big core audience of sports fans that are going to like this and maybe cut the cord. However, the problem comes from the simple view of this at the price it's at. Are you more likely just to be like, oh, sod it, I'll just get YouTube TV or Hulu Live TV and get all the other channels and other benefits from them rather than going through just Venue Sports? And also, there's less and less people that are going to subscribe to these platforms year on year. People are cutting the cord. They don't want these expensive platforms, and I think that's going to be an issue. I think with the launch of ESPN, when it goes fully digital and on streaming, that's going to have an impact on this. Venue Sports to me still feels like a band-aid to a particular problem right now to just try and just cream as much money as they possibly can before the traditional linear television stuff completely dies. It doesn't feel like a long-term project, and I still believe that. Now, I know there's going to be a lot of people that will want to get this, especially, you know, maybe if you can just sign up through the football season or the basketball season, there's always going to be that. And if you're into multiple sports, that's great. This one's probably going to be for you. Sports content does cost a lot of money. You know, that is a big problem, but it's also being spread out. It's like if you're an NFL fan, you know, this deal might be good. You're going to get some sports through here, but also you're going to need Amazon. You're going to need to have access to Peacock and still Paramount. You're not going to get access to everything. The NBA, you know, NBC and also Amazon are going to get some of the games for next year. You're not going to get everything through this, and so it's not a catch-all process, and I think that is a bit of a problem. But, you know, you could get this, Peacock, Paramount Plus, Amazon, and then suddenly you're going to be getting up to having as much as you possibly can do. But sports does cost a lot of money. If you're a big fan, it does cost a lot. I know I've been looking at sorting out my DAZN Game Pass for NFL for this season, and the prices at the minute, it's really annoying. They offered me 50%, but the offer wouldn't work. I'm like, well, I'm not, you've offered me 50%, I ain't going up. It's like, I'll wait for that to come down, thank you. But anyway, I think there is a big market for this in terms of who they can get, but I don't think it's ever gonna break out into big thing. This is just slicing off another little bit and just trying to just get that last bit of extra cash out before this entire system just collapses. And then we're going to end up, I think, in 10 years time, you're going to see Amazon, Netflix, and Disney Plus and Peacock, etc. They're going to have all the sports on their streaming platforms, and that's how you're going to watch it. And I don't think the linear is just going to drop off. I think that's just going to be the way it is. But I'd love to know your thoughts on this in the comments below. Go check us out over at whatsondisneyplus.com. Like, follow, and subscribe, and I shall see you guys soon. Laters.